Hey guys, Ultra Maximus here with another Blu-ray 3D conversion video. It's 8 in the morning, got up early, and really didn't have much to do this morning, so I'm like, you know what? I think I want to sit down and talk about one of the videos. They're actually just now plowing our streets. It's been a solid 24 hours since the blizzard, and they're just now getting to our streets, so maybe I'll be able to get out and go somewhere today. But the movie I wanted to look at was Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And I got this yesterday during the blizzard, right when the blizzard was starting, at Walmart for $8.88. Now, I'm going to talk about the disc itself and then talk about the film and the 3D conversion on it. The disc itself, this has really absolutely nothing on it. So you get this really nice looking picture, and obviously it takes place in San Francisco. We got some apes going on back here, and I'll talk about that here in a second. And then we got the main ape here, Caesar. Here's the back of it. Kind of tells you what's going on, etc., etc., etc. This disc has zero features on it. There is absolutely nothing on this disc. It plays. It has a scene selection, and it has the setup. That's it. Audio setup. Nothing else on this disc. I don't know if they made a different copy of the disc or not. If you look on the inside, we've got the disc itself, which is kind of creepy and cool. He's got an anarchy symbol. That's kind of weird. They did an anarchy symbol there. I really don't like this. I mean, I guess it's good they're doing it for the environment, but it makes these cases very flimsy. I'm not a particular fan of that. But, yeah. I'll get to that, the drawing of the symbol here in a second, because it's not quite accurate to the film. But the movie itself is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It took me a while to actually sit down and watch this. This is actually the first time yesterday I watched this film. I've seen clips of it, but I've never seen the film in its entirety. And I'm got a kind of a cold going on too, so I apologize about that. The movie itself, this is, I guess, a prequel to the Planet of the Apes saga story. This is kind of supposed to be a reboot slash how it all comes around. They've got a sequel already greenlit. I don't think Franco is going to be in the next one. He had mentioned that, I think he'd mentioned that he might have been in a scene as like a cameo of a recording, but the director is not returning, so I don't think he's going to return as well. I don't really know what's going on with that. One of the cool things is Caesar, the ape, all the monkeys in this, all the apes in this, I guess, they're all CG'd. And it really shows in some of the scenes. But since it's consistent, it's not that bad. They used Andy Serkis, who is renowned for doing Gollum in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films. And he basically plays Caesar, walking around and everything, which is pretty cool. I like that, the whole mocap type thing. That's pretty cool. The animation does look really cool, but some scenes are like, wow, that really does look like, an ape. But there are other scenes where you're just like, it's obviously fake. It's just, it kind of hit or misses depending on the scene. But overall, because it is consistent enough, being the animation, it's not that bad and it doesn't deter from the film. I mean, hell, the other movies, they were in costumes. But I actually did like the costumes, so it's kind of an interesting film. Basically, and then there were some surprises in it. I didn't know John Lithgow was in it. He plays James Franco's father, who has Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's. And Franco is a scientist trying to cure it with a drug, and he's experimenting on the apes. And yeah, pretty darn cool. There, some other actors that were in it that really kind of surprised me. The guy from Reaper, he was in this. He's the chimp handler in the film, which is kind of cool. He's a great actor. He just hasn't really found a way to stick to a show yet. But yeah, he did a good job in it. I really liked it. And basically, he's working on this drug. There was an accident in the lab, and one of the apes who's shown real promise and becoming highly intelligent from the drug they're given, goes on a rampage, and up killing her, and it kind of kills the funding for the project, and come to find out she was just protecting a baby. The apes weren't damaged or anything like that. So Franco ends up taking Caesar home and kind of raising him and doing a home study with the ape, because the drug that he was given the mother was passed on to Caesar, and he became more intelligent. Well, things eventually go awry. Caesar gets out. He attacks this asshole neighbor that is a pilot, and he had been kind of jumping on John Lithgow's character, and of course Caesar went to go protect him, and he ends up in a primate conservation center in California. That's kind of interesting. They happen to have a big indoor facility conservation center, but whatever. And he ends up, he feels spurned by the humans, and he creates a chimp army. Basically, he learns how to escape and get out, and he starts befriending a gorilla, and there's an orangutan that can sign. He was in the circus, and which is kind of nice because they're nods to the old Planet of the Apes movies, in where, like with the Tim Burton one, the head of the guard was a gorilla, and it's kind of the same way in this. He ends up, his bodyguard protects him, and the orangutan, of course, was in both the Planet of the Apes films, and he's in this one too, and very cool stuff. I really did like that. And basically, he decides, he's talking to the orangutan in sign language. That's how they communicate with each other. And then the orangutan says, why he was asking why he was helping, or being nice to another ape, another chimp that was mean to him. And he basically said that he used the adage, one person is weak and breaks a stick, and multiple, a group is strong. And the orangutan said that it said apes stupid, and so that kind of made him think, oh hey, I can make them smarter. So he gets loose. He goes back to Franco's house. He takes the drug that Franco had been giving Lithgow for Alzheimer's, and he spreads it to the other apes, makes them smarter. They break out, and they're going to go to the forest and live their own lives, kind of thing. And they kind of clash with humans and all this kind of stuff, blah blah blah. And then turns out that the same virus or drug that's turned into they turn it into a virus to make it more efficient, has a deadly effect on humans, and it gets spread from the chimp handler to the pilot, and then you see in the credits it starts going around, so it's kind of setting up how the apes end up taking over. Well, yeah, it's a pretty decent film. I didn't think I was really going to like it much, and I actually got into it and really, really did like it. I didn't want to like it, I think, because I was a fan of the Tim Burton film. I really liked that remake, and I'm like, I don't know about going back. But all in all, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I am a big fan of the Planet of the Apes series in general. I just think it's a great concept, and this was a very, very good film. I am happy to have this along next to my Tim Burton copy, definitely. And I'm looking forward to other films. I think they're going to do a trilogy. I think they're going to do kind of a middle way, and then we'll probably see this version of the classic film, I would bet. But 3D-wise, the conversion to this in 3D, it's okay. There are a lot of scenes in it that look really good. Like in the opening scenes when they're in the jungle, looks really nice. When they're out in the redwood forest, looks fantastic. The scenes in the house where he's kind of flipping through the house look really, really cool. There's a scene where they go down a street that's got trees on both sides of it. That looks really, really nice in 3D. The scenes on the San Francisco Bridge, it's kind of a final throwdown between the police and the apes, and that scene's pretty darn cool in 3D when they start flipping under the bridge and going up on top and all that kind of stuff. So really cool stuff. Lots of nice nods to the original film. Like there's a line where one of the handlers, who's kind of an asshole, he goes after Caesar, and Caesar basically stands up to him. and he grabs him, and he's like, get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape, and Caesar yells, no! And it was pretty darn cool. I really liked that. Other nods in the film include a scene on the bridge. The police are coming through with batons, and they're hitting the apes, and they're going down through, and that really reminded me of the apes on horses going after the humans. I thought that was pretty cool as well. And then the gorilla he rescues ends up saving him, kind of sacrificing himself, which kind of reminded me of the gorilla guard in the other films. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. It's definitely a different type of Planet of the Apes film, and it's set in our time. They also had a nod with the first flight to Mars. They start talking about that in the news, and then you see Lost in Space. What happened to the astronauts that went to Mars, and that was kind of cool, kind of alluding to maybe those are going to be the astronauts that end up landing on Planet of the Apes. So we'll see what happens with that. I think that'd be kind of cool to tie it back into this movie, definitely. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is just a very generic DVD or if this was something that Walmart put out to make it cheaper. I don't know if there are other editions with more special feature, or with any special features for that fact, on it or not. But if you see it for $8.88, it's worth picking up and just watching. Absolutely, I think so. I don't know if I'd want to spend $20 or $25 on the film. It is a little bit older now. I mean, this came out in, 2011. So it's about a year old. But all in all, it's a good film. It translates very well into 3D. It's not the greatest 3D rendering, but it does a pretty good job with it. So I was happy with the movie. It was a nice snow day movie for sure. And if you can get it on the cheap, it's a good render if your television renders 2D into 3D. So Planet of the Apes. I'm looking forward to the sequel. Thanks for watching, guys, and look for more videos in the future where it's all run by apes.